Joseph Joey Gallo was born in 1929 in the rough streets of Brooklyn, New York. His family was poor, crowded into small apartments where anger and survival ruled daily life. Violence was not shocking in Joey's world. It was normal. Street fights, shouting, and crimes surrounded him from childhood. Unlike other boys who dreamed of escape, Joey absorbed the chaos and learned from it. Brooklyn in the 1930s was a breeding ground for criminals, and Joey was shaped by it. He learned early that respect came from fear, not kindness. This environment planted the seeds of his unpredictable personality, a man who would later shake the mafia itself. Joey was not alone. He had two brothers, Larry Gallo and Albert Kid Blast Gallo. Together, they formed a tight and dangerous unit. Larry was the quiet thinker, Albert was the brutal enforcer, and Joey was the wild, unpredictable frontman. As teenagers, they ran street scams, petty thefts, and protection rackets. The brothers trusted only each other, creating a bond stronger than mafia loyalty. This family-first mentality later caused deadly conflict with their own crime family. The Gallo brothers didn't just want to serve the mafia, they wanted power. The Gallo brothers were absorbed into the Profaci crime family, led by Joseph Profaci. At first, the relationship worked. The Gallos collected money, enforced rules, and scared people into paying. But Joey quickly grew frustrated. He believed Profaci was greedy and weak, taking too much money from soldiers and giving little respect. Joey wanted faster money, more freedom, and recognition. His arrogance and temper made him dangerous, even to his own bosses. Unlike traditional mobsters, Joey did not respect hierarchy. He believed chaos was power. Joey Gallo was not calm like other gangsters. He dressed flashy, talked loudly, and acted impulsively. He loved poetry, philosophy, and deep conversations, but also loved violence. One moment he could quote literature, the next moment pull a gun. This unpredictability terrified allies and enemies alike. Mafia leaders prefer quiet control. Joey brought noise, drama, and attention. He was impossible to control, and that made him both valuable and dangerous. Many feared him not because he was smart, but because no one knew what he would do next. By the late 1950s, Joey Gallo openly criticized Joseph Profaci. He complained about unfair profit sharing and corruption. Other soldiers quietly agreed, but Joey said it out loud, a deadly mistake in mafia culture. He began plotting rebellion. This was unheard of. Mafia families did not revolt internally. Joey didn't care. He believed fear could replace tradition. This mindset would soon ignite one of the most violent internal wars in mafia history. In 1961, Joey Gallo did the unthinkable. He helped kidnap his own boss, Joseph Profaci. Along with his brothers and loyal gunmen, Joey seized Profaci and held him hostage. This act shocked the entire American underworld. Mafia bosses across the country were stunned. This was treason. Although Profaci was later released, the damage was done. Joey had crossed a line that could never be erased. From that moment on, the Gallo brothers were marked for death. After the kidnapping, all-out war erupted. Profaci loyalists hunted the Gallo brothers. Shootings, bombings, and assassinations followed. Brooklyn became a battlefield. Innocent people were caught in the middle. Bodies began piling up. Joey thrived in the chaos. He believed violence proved strength, but the Mafia Commission saw him as unstable and dangerous. The war weakened the entire family and drew massive police attention, exactly what the Mafia feared most. In 1961, Joey was arrested and sentenced to prison on unrelated charges. Ironically, prison saved his life. While he was locked away, many of his allies were killed. His brother Larry was murdered under mysterious circumstances. Joey blamed the Mafia and never forgave them. Prison did not calm him. It hardened his hatred. He spent years reading, posting poetry, and planning revenge. He emerged more bitter and more dangerous than before. While in prison, Joey became a legend. Stories spread about his fearlessness and rebellion. Younger criminals admired him. He wrote poetry and essays, presenting himself as a thinker trapped in a violent world. This strange mix of intellect and brutality made him unique. When he was released, people expected chaos, and they were right. By the time Joey left prison in the early 1970s, the Mafia had changed. Joseph Profaci was dead. New leadership existed, but old grudges remained. Joey returned to Brooklyn with anger, fame, and unfinished business. The stage was set for his final violent chapter. When Joey Gallo was released from prison in the early 1970s, Brooklyn no longer looked the same. Many men he once trusted were dead. Others had switched loyalties. The Mafia families had reorganized, and younger, quieter leaders were in charge. Joey felt the streets owed him respect for the years he lost behind bars. But the Mafia doesn't reward absence. Power had moved on without him. This reality angered Joey deeply. He believed fear should still protect him. Instead, he found suspicion everywhere. Old enemies were watching. New enemies were forming. Joey didn't return humbly. He returned loudly, demanding recognition in a world that had already decided he was a problem. The Profaci family had been renamed the Colombo crime family under Joseph Colombo. To them, Joey Gallo wasn't a legend, he was unfinished business. His rebellion had embarrassed the family nationwide. His survival insulted leadership. Colombo wanted stability. Joey represented chaos. From the moment Joey stepped back into Brooklyn, he was marked. Surveillance followed him, informants reported his movements. Colombo's men discussed whether Joey should be eliminated quickly or slowly. The Mafia had long memories, and betrayal was never forgiven. Instead of laying low, Joey did the opposite. He visited old hangouts, talked openly, and acted fearless. He mocked Mafia traditions and insulted leaders behind their backs. Joey believed showing fear was worse than death. But this reckless behavior made him vulnerable. Mafia power works best in silence. Joey shattered that silence everywhere he went. He was daring the underworld to challenge him, and they were listening. Joey Gallo enjoyed publicity in ways other mobsters avoided. He talked to journalists, poets, and intellectuals. He wanted to be seen more than a criminal, as a rebel thinker. This confused law enforcement and infuriated Mafia bosses. To them, Joey wasn't just dangerous, he was uncontrollable. He broke the Mafia's greatest rule, never attract attention. Joey began assembling a new crew, but it wasn't easy. Many feared him. Others didn't trust him. The Mafia had warned soldiers to stay away. Joey relied on street-level criminals, drug dealers, and loyal outsiders. This made their crew unstable. They lacked discipline and experience, but they shared one thing: loyalty to Joey, not the Mafia. That made them unpredictable. Despite Mafia rules discouraging narcotics, Joey allowed drug trafficking. He saw it as fast money and a way to build power quickly. This decision alarmed Colombo leadership. Drugs brought attention from the FBI and harsher prison sentences. Joey didn't care. He believed rules were meant to be broken, especially rules created by men he despised. Law enforcement closely watched Joey after his release. They knew his history. Every meeting, every phone call, every movement was noted. Joey sensed it, but ignored it. His confidence bordered on arrogance. He believed he could outsmart both the Mafia and the police. History would prove otherwise. Prison changed Joey. He was more paranoid, more emotional, and less patient. Friends noticed mood swings. One moment he was calm and thoughtful, the next explosive and aggressive. Years of confinement had sharpened his anger but weakened his judgment. The streets had moved forward. Joey was still fighting old wars. Many of Joey's former rivals had been replaced by younger men who didn't fear his reputation. They saw him as unstable, outdated, and reckless. This shift in power dynamics made him more dangerous and more desperate. Joey's behavior didn't just concern the Colombo family. The entire Mafia commission took notice. Leaders like Carlo Gambino believed Joey was bad for business. A man who ignores rules threatens everyone. Quiet discussions began about how to solve the Gallo problem permanently. In a shocking twist, Joey publicly supported the Black Panther movement. This move stunned the Mafia and the public. No mobster openly supported radical political groups. Joey claimed he respected their rebellion against authority. This act further isolated him from traditional Mafia allies. To bosses, it confirmed Joey was completely out of control. After the Black Panther incident, Joey's death became less of a question and more of a timetable. Colombo loyalists believed Joey was embarrassing the family. Some wanted immediate action. Others feared retaliation. Joey's fate was being debated in quiet rooms across New York. Despite his boldness, Joey was increasingly alone. Friends avoided him. Meetings grew smaller. Trust disappeared. The louder he became, the more isolated he felt. His rebellion cost him allies, protection, and future options. His personal life suffered deeply. His wife feared for his life. His family lived under constant tension. Threats were whispered. Strange cars appeared outside homes. Joey refused to change his lifestyle. His loved ones paid the price emotionally. Many believed Joey could have survived if he apologized or submitted. He refused. Pride ruled him. He believed surrender was worse than death. This stubbornness sealed his fate. Gunmen were selected. Surveillance was planned. Locations were discussed. Joey's habits were studied carefully. The Mafia doesn't rush executions. They wait for certainty. Joey continued living loudly, dining out, meeting friends, walking openly. Some say he sensed death coming. Others say he didn't care. Either way, he did nothing to stop it. Rumors spread that Joey Gallo wouldn't survive the year. Even civilians heard whispers. Brooklyn felt tense. Something was coming. Joey believed chaos gave him control. In reality, it stripped him of protection. The Mafia thrives on order. Joey was the opposite. By early 1972, decisions had been made. Joey Gallo's story was entering its final chapter. Violence was no longer a possibility. It was inevitable. In the days before his death, Joey Gallo began sensing something was wrong. He noticed unfamiliar faces lingering near restaurants he frequented. Cars seemed to follow him longer than usual. Even for a man used to danger, the atmosphere felt heavier. Friends warned him to stay home. Joey laughed it off. He believed fear was a weakness, and showing it would give his enemies power. But deep down, even Joey knew the streets had gone quiet in a way that only meant one thing. A hit was coming. Despite the tension, Joey refused to change his routine. On April 7th, 1972, his birthday, he decided to go out to dinner. To him, hiding would be an admission of defeat. He dressed well, carried himself proudly, and went into Manhattan as if daring fate to confront him face to face. This decision would seal his fate. Joey Gallo chose Umberto's Clam House, a small Italian restaurant in Little Italy. It was loud, crowded, and full of people, a place where he felt untouchable. Joey believed no one would dare kill him in public. That belief had protected him before. This time, it would betray him. Shortly after Joey sat down, several men entered the restaurant. They did not rush, they did not speak loudly, they blended into the room like ordinary customers, but their eyes never stopped moving. These were professional killers. Without warning, a gun was pulled. The first shot hit Joey in the chest. Chaos erupted instantly. Plates shattered, people screamed, chairs flipped over. Joey tried to stand, but his body was already failing him. Even after being shot, Joey attempted to reach for his gun. Witnesses later said his face showed shock more than fear. He had survived violence before. He believed, even then, that he might survive again. The killers fired multiple rounds. One shot hit Joey in the neck. Another struck his head. The attackers made sure there would be no mistake. Joey Gallo collapsed onto the restaurant floor as blood spread beneath him. After the shooting, the gunmen did not run. They walked calmly, blending into the panicked crowd. This calm exit showed discipline, a clear sign the murder had been officially approved. Joey Gallo was pronounced dead shortly after. His death marked more than the loss of a man. It marked the end of open rebellion within the Colombo family. The Mafia had reasserted control. Most investigators believed the order came from within the Colombo family leadership. Joey had become too unpredictable, too loud, too dangerous to control. In mafia logic, that made him expendable. Joey's murder sent a clear warning to other mobsters. No matter how famous or feared you were, rebellion would not be tolerated. The mafia would always protect order over personality. The killing shocked New York. Newspapers called it a gangland execution. Ordinary citizens saw firsthand that the mafia still ruled certain streets without fear. Police arrived quickly, but had no witnesses willing to testify. Fear sealed everyone's mouths. Once again, silence protected the killers. Joey Gallo's funeral was massive. Mob figures, neighborhood locals, and curious onlookers filled the streets. Even in death, Joey commanded attention. Almost immediately, stories about Joey grew larger than life. Some called him a poet, others called him a madman, many called him a legend. Films and books portrayed Joey as a wild outlaw, charming, reckless, and doomed. The truth was darker. His chaos cost many lives. Joey's rebellion led to dozens of deaths during the Colombo Wars. Innocent people were caught in crossfire, businesses were destroyed, streets lived in fear. The mafia learned that charisma could be as dangerous as ambition. After Joey, bosses became more careful about who they allowed to rise. Joey Gallo never accepted authority easily. That defiance made him famous and made him dead. In the mafia, refusal to bow often ends the same way. Joey died the way he lived, loudly, publicly, and violently. His story remains one of the clearest examples of what happens when chaos challenges control in the American underworld. After Joey Gallo was killed, the streets of Brooklyn and Manhattan went quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but fearful quiet. Everyone understood what the murder meant. The mafia had spoken loudly, without words. With Joey gone, the Colombo leadership tightened its grip. Orders flowed again without resistance. No one dared question authority the way Joey had. Men who once followed Joey either disappeared, flipped sides, or ended up dead or imprisoned. Loyalty vanished the moment protection vanished. Joey's death marked the end of open street wars. The mafia returned to shadow operations, keeping violence hidden to avoid attention. Other crime families quietly approved the killing. Joey's chaos had threatened all of them by drawing law enforcement attention. Police hoped Joey's death would break the mafia. Instead, it made the organization more disciplined and harder to detect. Young criminals learned a brutal truth. Charisma does not protect you. Obedience keeps you alive longer than fame. Within the underworld, Joey's name was used to warn reckless soldiers. Don't become another Joey. No one testified, no one spoke. Silence once again defeated justice. Writers and journalists romanticized Joey as a rebel fighting the system. They ignored the fear and blood left behind. Joey was not a hero. He was dangerous, unstable, and willing to burn everything around him to feel powerful. Many families who lost loved ones during Joey's war never received justice or explanations. Crime continued, quieter, smarter, and less emotional. Joey's death cleaned the chaos without cleaning the crime. People are drawn to Joey because he challenged power openly, but open defiance rarely ends well. Joey had power, influence, fear, attention, but he lacked control. Control belongs to those who stay unseen. The mafia prefers businessmen, not showmen. Joey was too loud for survival. Neighborhoods returned to routine life, but the memory of violence never fully faded. Ironically, killing Joey made the mafia stronger by eliminating instability. Joey's biggest enemy was not another gangster, it was his own ego. Joey Gallo will always be remembered, not as a king, but as a warning. In the underworld, chaos creates attention, and attention brings death. Years after his death, filmmakers and writers began reshaping Joey's image. They turned him into a romantic outlaw, a misunderstood rebel fighting corrupt bosses. The violence was softened, the fear ignored. On screen, Joey became stylish, poetic, and dramatic. In reality, his chaos left bodies, broken families, and terrified neighborhoods.
Authors admired Joey how he openly challenged mafia authority. What they rarely showed was how reckless defiance destroys everyone around it. Actual mobsters despised Joey's glorification. To them, he was not brave, he was dangerous to business. The mafia rewards patience, obedience, and secrecy. Joey rewarded emotion, pride, and confrontation, the opposite of survival. To outsiders, Joey symbolized rebellion. To insiders, he symbolized failure. Many young gangsters copied Joey's attitude without understanding the ending. Loudness replaced strategy, and many paid with their lives. Older residents remember gunshots, fear, and police sirens, not glamour. Even decades later, Joey's name is spoken quietly, like a ghost that refuses to leave. Modern organized crime avoids public drama. Joey would not survive today's silent systems. If Joey lived today, cameras and social media would expose him instantly. His style belonged to a different era. Joey believed fear made him untouchable. Fear only buys time, not immunity. Joey inspired fear, not loyalty. Fear disappears the moment power does. No family declared war after his death. That silence said everything. Joey left no lasting empire. Chaos cannot be inherited. By killing Joey quietly, the mafia reasserted its oldest rule: order above all. Joey stood alone against institutions designed to crush individuals. Joey Gallo was not a kingmaker. He was a disruptor who burned out fast. Challenge power loudly, and power responds quietly, but permanently. Not chaos, not rebellion, but a reminder that in the underworld, style dies before structure. Joey Gallo's story is often told from his perspective, but many innocent people suffered because of his wars. Shop owners paid extortion, families lost loved ones caught in crossfire. Their names never made headlines. During Joey's reign of chaos, business owners lived in fear. Some paid protection to multiple factions just to survive. Refusal often meant broken windows, threats, or worse. Every public gunfight damaged the mafia's greatest asset: secrecy. Police pressure increased, surveillance expanded, and innocent bystanders were traumatized. Joey unintentionally helped law enforcement improve. His visibility taught police how mob wars unfold and where pressure works best. After Joey's death, the Colombo family slowly restored order. Quiet leadership replaced chaos, and business resumed without headlines. Joey's loud approach became a lesson. Future bosses enforced silence harder than ever. Rather than violence, the mafia focused on infiltration, unions, finance, and influence. Smarter crime, less blood. Within mafia circles, Joey Gallo became a cautionary tale told to young soldiers. Even after his death, Joey's name appeared in FBI reviews studying organized crime mistakes. Bosses require stability. Joey brought instability. His personality alone disqualified him. Lucky built systems. Joey burnt bridges. One created an empire. The other created moments. Joey wanted recognition more than control. That hunger blinded him. Many of Joey's choices were emotional responses, not calculated moves. Fatal in organized crime. Joey's crew followed him out of fear, not belief. When danger increased, loyalty disappeared. Joey's wars brought death and prison to his brothers, sealing the family's collapse. Joey had multiple chances to step back. Pride wouldn't allow it. Even after years in prison, the mafia never forgot Joey's defiance. In the mafia, repeated defiance ends only one way: execution. Joey's funeral lacked the power and presence of true mob royalty. With Joey gone, Brooklyn returned to quiet control, proof that chaos never lasts. After Joey Gallo's death, the streets of Brooklyn slowly returned to a strange calm. The gunfire stopped, the fear faded, people went back to living ordinary lives, proving that even the loudest gangster is eventually swallowed by time. New generations of mobsters studied Joey, not as a hero, but as a lesson. They learned what not to do. Never attract attention, never challenge leadership openly. Movies later painted Joey as a rebel poet, but the truth was harsher. His life was violent, unstable, and destructive to everyone around him. Turning Joey into a legend erased the suffering he caused. The myth ignored victims and focused only on charisma. Joey believed power came from fear and noise. The Mafia learned that true power comes from silence and patience. Families tightened discipline. Reckless members were eliminated faster to avoid another Joey Gallo situation. Law enforcement used Joey's case to teach agents about internal mob fractures. Joey became a textbook example of what happens when ego overtakes strategy. Bystanders wounded or traumatized by Joey's wars were never compensated or remembered. Joey's story proved that chaos destroys even criminal empires. Buildings were replaced, restaurants closed, his territory became unrecognizable. Younger generations barely recognize the name Joey Gallo. Joey mistook aggression for authority, a fatal misunderstanding. Not the Mafia, not the police. Joey's pride killed him. Fear-based loyalty collapses the moment pressure arrives. Joey saw stepping back as weakness, a belief that sealed his fate. After Joey, bosses enforced discipline harder than ever. His story now serves as a warning, not a dream. When Joey died, nothing remained. No empire, no legacy, only silence. In organized crime, ego is deadlier than enemies. Some old-timers still remember Joey as fearless. Others remember only the fear he caused. His memory is fractured, just like the life he lived. In bars and back rooms, his name still comes up quietly, usually followed by a warning about recklessness. Larry Gallo died earlier, and Albert lived longer but never escaped the shadow Joey cast over the family. Without its leader, the Gallo crew collapsed quickly, absorbed or destroyed by stronger factions. The commission never spoke publicly, but the message was clear. Joey Gallo had to go. No retaliation followed his murder. Fear, exhaustion, and lack of leadership silenced any response. The bosses who survived Joey's chaos ruled longer by staying invisible. Joey's life proved that disorder burns bright but dies fast. Territories he once fought for were quietly reassigned overnight. Once Joey was gone, the underworld moved on without ceremony. Shop owners, families, and neighbors paid the price for Joey's wars. Both mobsters and police studied his failures closely. Joey refused to evolve with the Mafia's changing rules. Negotiation bored him. Force excited him. A fatal imbalance. Joey ruled through intimidation, not trust. Had he stepped back, he might have lived longer, but that wasn't who he was. Brooklyn didn't pause when he died. Life continued. Movies showed romance. Reality was paranoia and blood. He never realized he was already losing. Joey had strength, but no restraint. Every reckless gangster after him carried his lesson unknowingly. Ego, pride, and reputation trapped him. The system absorbed his destruction and continued. Joey chased freedom, but lived in constant fear. The spotlight he loved was the same one that killed him. Law schools and police academies still analyze his downfall. His death was quiet, almost forgotten. Once the bullets stopped, nothing replaced them. The city outlived Joey Gallo. Joey's life flared fast and disappeared just as quickly. Strip away the legend and only chaos remains. It only shortened his time. Joey Gallo was feared, not loved. It delivered him death. Not power, not control, just history. Recklessness kills faster than enemies. Defying the system without strategy is suicide, and no one replaced it. Joey left no empire behind. In the underworld, noise gets you noticed. Silence keeps you alive.